Hello everyone, today's poem is 和梦得夏至忆苏州呈卢宾客 by Bai Juyi, the most famous poet in the mid-Tang period. First of all, before we talk about this poem, 夏至快乐 Happy Summer Solstice Day. So today, the 夏至 or Summer Solstice Days is a very, very special day in the whole year, the longest day. And many nations, many countries all around the world, they all know this from a very, very ancient time. The Chinese people noticed this special day as well in a very ancient time. And in the Han dynasty, 2000 years ago, the emperor held big ceremony in this day. And today, the ceremony has gone, or there's no parties in China neither, but people still think this day is a special day. And in the southern China, people will like to eat the special kangi, 稀饭 for today. And in the northern part of the China, people like to eat all kinds of noodles, the local flavored noodles, for summer solstice day. So today I choose a poem right about summer solstice day or 夏至 by Bai Juyi. The long title is quite complicated, so let me give you some of the background. So in this poem, there's three persons involved. First of all, the poet himself, Bai Juyi, of course. The second one, Mengde. Mengde is Liu Yuxi, another very famous mid-Tang poet. We had two poems of him in my videos. You can cross-check about that. The third person is Lu Binke. So Binke means guest, and Lu is his family name. So he was the guest of Liu Yuxi or Mengde. Mengde is another name of Liu Yuxi. So totally we have three persons here. The background is Liu Yuxi write a person for his guest, Mr. Lu. So with the title 夏至忆苏州呈卢宾客. So that's the title of the poem by Liu Yuxi. And when Bai Juyi, for some reason, he read that poem by Liu Yuxi, and he write back or reply a poem to Liu Yuxi because he saw the poem by Liu Yuxi and he has some feelings or he has some thoughts he want to express. So for such reason, Bai Juyi write this poem. And from the 和梦得, 和 is write back or reply a poem to another person's poem. And 梦得 is another name of Liu Yuxi. So when you know the background and then we look back to the long title, it's quite simple. 和梦得 reply this poem to Liu Yuxi's another poem. So the poem by Liu Yuxi was repeated in this title of this poem. So the following actually is the title of Liu Yuxi's poem, which is 夏至忆苏州呈卢宾客. So this is the title of Liu Yuxi's poem. Okay, so such a complicated title. So let me rephrase or make it simple again. 贺孟德 means write back a poem to Liu Yuxi. Mengde is Liu Yuxi, so I'm writing back to Liu Yuxi with this poem we're about to introduce. And the reason write back to Liu Yuxi is because Liu Yuxi has write a poem. The title is 夏至忆苏州呈卢宾客. So basically, this poem is a poem like a reply or like an answer to another poem by Liu Yuxi. This poem belongs to the type of writing back poems, or the poems of the socialized poems that people or friends writing to each other. And also there's another big type of poems that written per a request, the request by the emperor, the request by the host in a big party. So everybody writing per the defined title or topics. So these two types of the poems actually consist a big chunk of the Tang poems. But normally this type of poems is with not much of the content or popularity. So this poem actually is quite an ordinary poem by Bai Juyi. So the only reason to introduce this poem is to let you know some of the special things in the Tang dynasty in the summer solstice day. Now let's get to the poem now. I will more focus on the background and rather than the wordings, because this one is a very ordinary poem. 忆在苏州日，长按下之宴. So when I recall the days in Suzhou city, I always remind of the dinner of summer solstice days. So another very important background is all the three persons appeared in this poem. They all have stayed in Suzhou for some time, so they share the same experiences. 仲香统竹嫩，质脆子鹅鲜. So this is about write about the delicious food in that summer solstice day, big dinner. The 粽 is the food normally eaten in the Dragon Boat festival, but in this day they still have that sort of the food, 粽子. And this is a little special because normally today the 粽子 is the rice ball wrapped with the leaves of the bamboo, but here the rice ball is in the stem of the bamboo, so that's quite a little bit different. And also the second is about the goose, the barbecue of the goose. It's very delicious and fresh. 水果多台榭，无风上管弦. So it's a very pleasant dinner along the rivers, along the lakeside. This area is so-called the country of water, 水果. So it only depicts that there's so many waters and lakes in this area. And also they built a lot of the buildings alongside the rivers and lakes. They always have parties in that buildings. 台榭 is the building without wall but pillars. 台 is with roof. 榭 is without roof. Anyhow, there's no walls, so you can look around and you can see all the beautiful scenic views, the rivers, lakes, the forest, whatsoever. 无风上管弦. So the tradition or the local atmosphere is they like the music of flute and strings. So there are so many types of musical instrument, but the local flavor is flute and strings. 每家皆有酒，无处不过船. So at the day of summer solstice days, every family, every home drinks wines. So we can see for the dinner, they had the 粽子, they have the barbecue of goose, and also they drink wines. 无处不过船, so everywhere there's boat, because before he said this is a place of the rivers and lakes. The people lives on the river, on the lakes. Okay, so far that's the first paragraph. So in the first paragraph, the poet Bai Juyi described the memories or the recalls what's in his mind and the best part of their life in Suzhou city. And then he recalled the things between the three persons and why the three persons was related. 交印均相次. 交印, so I hand off of my officer's seals. This means he left this position, the position of the governor of Suzhou city. So 均相似, so you people is after mine. So this tells the story very clearly that Bai Juyi himself was the governor in Suzhou city for some time, and later on the two other persons, Liu Yuxi and Mr. Lu, they also went to Suzhou as a governor and spent some time there. 迁为我在前. 迁为 means left the position and go to the countryside to do some of the surveys and statics report. Basically, 迁为 means left the position. 迁为我在前 means I was the first to be in Suzhou city as a governor, and I was the first I left Suzhou city. 此乡居老矣，东望共依然. So now we are all old at this place, 此乡, at this place. So for that time, Bai Juyi is roughly in his 68, and he was stayed in the east capital, 洛阳. 东望共依然, so we look to the east. Basically, that means they look to the Suzhou city, which actually precisely is to the southeast. So it looks like still the same, but that's all the imaginations of Bai Juyi. So this sentence, it tells we are all old, we are all staying in the east capital city, Luoyang, and we all like to look to the east, and it seems the Suzhou city is still like that, like before. 落下麦秋月，江南梅雨天. So here depict the weather. 落下 also it clearly point out 此乡, this place is 落下, is the Luoyang. And 夏 means the time at the moment, is the month of 麦秋. 麦秋 means the time of the harvest of wheat. So basically, that's the time of the summer solstice days. And in the Jiangnan, Jiangnan here refers to Suzhou. Suzhou is at the south of the Yangtze River. So, but from the previous sentence, we know it's clearly point out to Suzhou city. It's still in the weather of 梅雨. 梅雨, it refers to weather. It's the time is around the summer solstice days, and so many rains, and it's so humid, and people like to get some of the illness in that time. So it's a very typical weather date, and today we still use 梅雨as to refer this period of time. And in the Canton province, people don't say 梅雨. people will say 回南天. Basically, they refer to the same things. It's very, very humid and it rains all the time. 齐云楼上事已上13年. So here it point out what most that still he like to recall in the Suzhou city is 齐云楼. That's the big restaurant, very famous restaurant, and even the name was given by Bai Juyi. So by referring to the best restaurant, famous restaurant, actually we know that the best part in Suzhou most likely to be the happy life dinners and parties. 以上13年, so that has passed 13 years already from now. So that means Bai Juyi has left Suzhou City for 13 years, and by this 13 years we know he is 68 already. Okay, that's for this poem, a very simple and normal poem that describing the daily life and friendship between friends. And also we can feel a little bit that why Bai Juyi remained or like his life in Suzhou and Hangzhou most. Basically, that's the area of Jiangnan. We had a poem about Jiangnan because after his middle age of Bai Juyi actually is practicing the philosophy of 穷则独善其身. So if there's no way, 穷 doesn't mean poor. 穷 means at the end. So here it means the career path, at the end of the career path, or he don't see any ways before him. He has reached the end of his career path. So 穷则独善其身 means there's no futures. So he concentrate to make himself a better life. So thus, Bai Juyi has bought a lot of the dancers and singers, very beautiful and young dancers and singers, and he liked the parties all the time. And even when he come back from the Jiangnan area, he chose to stay in the east capital Luoyang rather to stay in the west capital Chang'an city, because all the positions in Luoyang city actually is with very less duty or no duties. So he brought all the young beautiful girls, the singers, the dancers from the Jiangnan area with him, and he enjoyed the parties all the time. And also he practiced Buddhism for some time. Basically, that's the main focus or the main things he was doing in Luoyang city. The parties, the young beautiful girls, and also a little bit Buddhism practicing. So that's why he liked to recall the days in Jiangnan so much. And in that places, he's the big head. He was the governor. That's the first thing. The second thing, there's not much of the duties or political things to affect his big parties or his dinings. So the best part he recalled in Suzhou city is the dining or dinner. That's the philosophy Bai Juyi practiced after his middle age. 穷则独善其身. Okay, that's for today, and I wish you a happy summer solstice days as Bai Juyi parties, dinners, beautiful girls. Okay, that's for today. Bye-bye.